In this second part of the video, creating a hand, we're going to look to connect the thumb and connect this all back to the wrist. So following on from the last video, we're going to select the fingers and we're going to close this part of the hand. So we're going to bridge these, add a division, put this division out, back, and then we're just going to target weld those two verts here to close this gap. Go. Okay, so next we need to look at the thumb. So we're going to come off the fingers and select that thumb that we made earlier. There. So one of the big things with the thumb is it has one less knuckle than a finger. So we need to get rid of that to begin with. So a few ways to do this. I would suggest potentially selecting these loops and deleting those. And then with the remaining edges, we're just going to bridge across. Get something like this. This will be slightly off, and if you go to the front view, you won't be able to see too much. So we need to do this mainly in the perspective because of the angle of the thumb. So one thing we're going to do is select all these and pull these up because the thumb is quite a bit shorter than the fingers. I'm going to look to pull these edges down slightly, and that's not too bad. So that's looking okay. Maybe it's slightly too long at the edge at the end, so thumbs are quite stumpy. So I'll bring this back. Maybe, yeah, that's a bit more like a thumb. So once this is set up, we're just going to position this roughly where it should be. Something like that should do. Look at it from multiple angles because it is important to get your angle right first, because once it's connected up it can be quite hard to rotate it as a whole object like this. So just get that sort of right first. Okay, so we're now going to connect this back up to the hand. So we're going to grab the thumb and the fingers, mesh and combine. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select these side edges, pull these out, so extrude them. And we're going to start to make the bridge between your thumb and your fingers. So kind of an odd shape, and some of these vertices are going to seem like they're in kind of off positions, but it's only because of what we're looking to try and get. We're going to select it again and just extrude those again towards the fingers. So we're going to try and line these up. If the connecting ones we're going to connect it with. And then make sure these are making up the difference. So now we're going to target weld these together. So make sure you've got no vertex selected, target weld. connect these three. And then, like I said, you might need to reposition some of these. Now if I press 3 to smooth it, what you're getting here is sort of arch from fingers to the thumb. So now it's just about connecting this all up to the wrist and making sure we've got the right amount. So one of the first things we need to do is close off these two bits. So let's select this edge and just going to extrude that outwards. Same. And now with the vertices, we're just going to target weld these two. So, and pull this in. Then we're going to bridge these, just so that's closed off. And that vertice is clearly too low, so it's this one. So again, you might want to pull these up. Okay. So then, thinking about at the bottom, we may just delete this face for now. We'll come back to that in a second. So what we actually have here is these two being extruded. Then target weld this point to this point. Sure, I haven't got anything selected first. And then we can pull this back down and bridge the edges across. Right, bridging this part. Okay. So we can target weld this back to one bit, and then we just need to clean this up. It's quite a bit off. So it's actually target welded the wrong vertice. So now we've got this, we're going to go back to the thumb area and connect up the other side. So again, just going to bridge this, add a division, just reposition this before target welding. So one thing we need to do is get this to loop. So one thing we're going to look for is target welding these two together. So, and then on the other side, we need to target weld this one to this one. So then what you've got here is a nice loop around the thumb. And if we look at our edges now, so deselect them. Just select around. This area. So we've got about 10 coming together just over, which we can reduce down a little bit more. So I'm going to select these edges, these ones at the bottom. I'm just going to extrude those back. Got the right ones. So there we've only got 7, so we've got some to work with there. So we can connect these up, bridge across here, and here we're going to target weld at the top. So now we've got this currently at 14, so we need 4. We need to get down 4 more edges. So this thumb's quite big at the moment still, so we can reduce this down a little bit. So we're going to select these 2, extrude those out a little bit. Like that. And then we're going to bridge those with a division. Shape this a bit. Something like. This will do for now. I'll just bridge these across. So then what we're going to do is select the edges going around again, extrude these back so we can connect up with the next face. So I'd select that one as well. You might want to pull them out so you can see what you're doing. And then target weld. So these 2. Okay, so some of this may be easier to fix once you've got it all sorted. Just clean it up. Okay, so now down to 12, so we just need to get rid of 2 more. So again, I'd probably do the same sort of thing. Pull this back out. So that's currently 10. So pull this back once more. Reselect this one vert, bring this down. And then if we connect these verts here, so if we go to target weld, this one and this one, so they're all going to that same vert. This hole is now 10. So we need to do some cleaning up. So obviously the hole is off and too big. So we're going to select these, just reshape it. Just clean this up. So this is a bit rough, but this is the hand. 3. You can see it's a hand. Still needs a little bit of rescaling, but it's fine. So I'm going to go to the front and scale this. One of the first things I want to do is pull some of these vertices at the top up to give it that bit more of a roundness. And then just set the entire object and scale it down slightly. And then I'm going to select the hole at the back and pull this in. And I'm going to do one last extrude for this wrist. Again, this might need reshaping. So actually going to select the vertices at the back where the wrist is and just straighten these out. So if you select them all and use the scale tool, so it's ready to connect with the wrist. So once this is done, we're just going to select the actual wrist. So we select the hand, we select the body, we're going to combine those, and then what we're going to do is we're going to look to line these vertices up with where they're going to target weld. So I'll seem pretty okay. Okay, so this one needs bringing up. So this one. And then we're just going to target weld these. So we start from the top. To target weld to the wrist. So work your way around. Like so. Its topology should continue to flow into the hand and have something like this. So when I press 3, hands connected, and that's the last part. I'd suggest spending some time before starting to rig cleaning this up. Always do one side first and then mesh, mirror. Make sure your border threshold's down to something quite low. Use this arrow here to control it. And then you should be left with something like this.